Today I'm going to show you my fail-proof recipe for homemade pizza. Doesn't that just look delicious? This recipe is so easy and I'm going to show you step by step what I do. And I make this usually most weeks and I've made it for years and years and it never fails. It's an absolute crowd pleaser. It's really cheap to make, it's very economical, and it doesn't have any nasty ingredients in it. We don't, sometimes if we buy shop ones, we don't know what's in it. But this one doesn't. You know exactly everything that's in this pizza and it's really good for us. So I'm not going to waffle on any more. So I've got all my ingredients in this bowl here for the pizza dough. And what I've actually put in it, I've put 450 grams of bread flour. I've put a teaspoon and a half of salt. I've put a teaspoon of sugar and I've used a teaspoon of dried yeast. And I put all the ingredients in separate little piles. And then what I've done is I've just stirred them all together so they're all mixed up there. And then I've got 250 mils of water here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop a tablespoon of, well, I've only got extra virgin olive oil, so I'm going to use that. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of that into the recipe. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my trusty old little wooden spoon that I use that side of it, and I'm going to make a little hole in the middle, and I'm going to pop the water in the middle there, just not all of it, just a little bit. And then I'm going to give it a little stir and get it all together. And it's all coming together now. It usually does take the 250. If you find that it's a bit too, you might, don't pop it all in at once. If you find that a little bit less is enough, that's fine. Sometimes you might need a little bit more. It depends on the flour really. But usually once you've got it all in and it all starts to mix, it usually works pretty well. So I think that might be about it really. Like I said, I might not pop all of it in. I might take it over to my trusty old little food mixer because I'm not going to mix it by hand. It's too much like hard work. And I do find that this always works out pretty well. So I'm not going to pop all the water in at the moment. I'm just going to put it in the machine and see how it goes. So you don't get a little workout for your hands, but never mind, it's let's save time and energy. Another ingredient that I will use at the end, if you're wondering what this one is here, this is a semolina, and I usually, when I come to roll it out, I'll show you later, I normally sprinkle a little bit of semolina on the work surface, and then we have a crispy bottom. We don't want a soggy bottom, do we? We do like a crispy one. So this makes sure that your pizza comes out lovely and crispy, a bit like you'd have it if you'd have a wood oven. Obviously I haven't got a wood burner oven, it's just going in my regular oven, but that does help to make it nice and crispy. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over to my trusty old little mixer and I'll show you what I'm going to do from there. So this is my trusty little food mixer, and I've had it for that long, I can't even remember how long I've had it, but it's still working, so there's no point in changing it, is there? And I've got the dough hook on it there, and I've got obviously the dough in here. I did actually put the rest of the water in because it did look a little bit dry, so I've put the rest of the water in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it on a very slow mix for about 10 minutes or so. So I'll put that on now. I won't do that while you're listening because it's a bit noisy. So I'm going to pop that on and I'll catch you when that's finished. The dough's ready. I've just taken it out of the mixer and I've put it on a lightly floured board here. It does make 2 pizzas, this one does, pretty generous, 2 12-inch pizzas. Probably it would make 2.5 really, depending on how you like your crust, whether you like it pretty thick, your pizza, or if you like it pretty thin. We like a pretty thin pizza because it's a little bit more crispy then. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it in half, and I put them into individual bags so that it's easier. If you want to pop them in the fridge or you want to freeze them, you can just take out a couple at a time, and you're ready to go. In the little plastic bag, I've put a little bit of olive oil so that the dough doesn't stick to it, and I'm just going to cover it loosely like that, so it's got a little bit of time to expand and double in size. So I shall just pop those there for now and just leave them to do their thing. I can leave them there for quite a long time, it doesn't really matter. And then when they have sort of doubled in size, I'd just probably knock them back a bit, and at that point I would either put them in the fridge if we're not eating it, having pizza straight away, or at that point I would put them in the freezer. Ready now, the dough's nice and sort of soft and fluffy, and it's all come together, it's had a good rest. So I've put some flour on the work surface, and I've put a little bit of semolina on the work surface too. So when the pizza comes out of the oven, it'll be nice and crispy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll out the dough to the shape of my pizza tray, which is this one here, that I've slightly oiled with a little bit of olive oil, just so that the pizza or the cheese or nothing sticks to it, because we don't want that to make it hard work to clean it, so it just comes off properly then. And it's nice and pliable. I'm just going to roll it out to about this shape. The recipe that I've done today makes 2 pizzas. It depends how you like them. Like I said earlier, you could have them quite thin or quite thick. It's completely up to you how you like it. We like our pizzas pretty thin, so I shall just roll it probably a little bit bigger than the tin, and then I shall pop it on, and then I'll just cut the sides off really. So what I do is that looks about roughly the size, and I'm just going to pop that on there and stretch it over, and that actually fits quite nice. What I do is, if there's any bits that are rolling over, I usually just cut them off with the scissors really. I've got my scissors here, and I'll just cut these little bits off, and then any bits that I do cut off I'll put together and use them in another pizza, because it might make about 3 pizzas this, it depends on how generous you want to make them. So that fits pretty well there, more or less. It's and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the passata on. Now I've got 2 types here. This one here is a little bit more expensive. I think the normal price for this one is about £1.50, but it is absolutely delicious, this one. It's a really lovely tomato sauce. This one is just as nice. This is just tomatoes, that's all it is. There's nothing else in it. And this one was about 45p, so it's a big difference really. I only buy this one when it's on offer, and usually sometimes it comes on offer at the supermarket about £1. So if it's on offer, I'll buy it. If it's not, then I won't. And if I buy this one, obviously, which I have, this one was 45p. If I don't use it all today, what I'll do is I'll pop it in a little dish and I'll put it in the freezer for next time, so it won't waste. Or also what I might do is, which I'm going to do if I don't use all this one today, I've got some pasta, so whatever's left I'll use as a little sauce on the pasta. It doesn't have to be a lot, but that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop a little bit of the sauce on. Obviously, however you like your pizza, we're all a bit unique, aren't we? Some of us like a little bit more sauce, some of us don't like sauce. But that's the beauty of making your own pizza at home. It's not only is it super cheap, and it's ridiculously easy to make. It's not really difficult, and you can completely choose what you want on it. It's completely your choice. I mean, that looks about enough sauce for us. We don't like too much sauce on it, but that sort of looks about right for us. So you can see actually how economical this jar is, because I've only used a little tiny bit of it. But like I say, if you're making pizzas for the family, you'd probably use a lot more of this. But what you don't use, you can always use somewhere else. It's not going to waste on your pasta, that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do, I've already grated the cheese here, and I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of cheese on here. You can put whatever topping you like on it, really. We usually have ham and salami, that sort of thing. So I'm going to put a little bit of grated cheese, which I already grated, and I've got some mozzarella here. That varies in price, doesn't it? And I've just chopped these little bits up. Actually, I didn't chop them, I just cut them with the scissors, really. And I'm just going to pop some of those on to taste, really, whatever you think. So I've got those on, and then I'm going to put the ham on. And I've got pizza pepperoni. My other half likes that. I'm not that fond of it myself, so if I was doing a half and half, I'd put one on his half and one on my half. But today I'm just going to use this Parma ham, so I'm going to put a little bit of the Parma ham on, and just scatter it on equally, so everybody gets every piece gets a little bit of something. So that's going on there, and I'm going to pop that one in the oven now. What you could do is, you could always put probably chopped mushrooms. I would cook the mushrooms first because they can be a little bit wet. I'd put chopped mushrooms on. You could put tomatoes on if you've got some of those left. You could put sun-dried tomatoes, they're always nice. And anchovies, whatever. I mean, it's limitless, isn't it, what you can put on them. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pop this in the oven, and then I'll get back to you. Well, I think the pizza's ready now, and I must say, if I do say so myself, the kitchen does smell absolutely delicious. So just excuse me, and I'm just going to get the pizza out of the oven. Gosh, that's so hot, and the cheese is all nice and bubbling, and everything looks lovely and crispy. So it looks absolutely delicious. So what I normally would do then is I would just, it's not stuck, so that's quite handy. I've got my little trusty cheese slice that I just use because I find that helpful, and I usually cut it with the scissors because I haven't got a pizza slicer, so I just do that. If you think you want it a little bit more crispy, you can obviously put it in and crisp it up. It depends how you like it, really. But for my taste, this looks absolutely beautiful. And as you can, oops, the cheese is falling off there. And as you can see, it's a lovely slice of pizza. And like I said, this one makes 2 pizzas, generous pizzas. And if you wanted to make double it up and make it for 4 people, or whatever size of party you might have, you can do that. And any that you don't use, you can put in the freezer. So it's very economical, nothing's wasted. And let's face it, everybody really likes pizza, don't they? And if we go to the shops and buy them from the pizza places, they're really very expensive. And if we get them from the supermarkets, they're usually full of additives and things that we don't even know what they are, really. So this one's completely natural. It's got everything in it that you like, everything that you know is in it. There's nothing added. It's a really lovely pizza, so I would suggest that you have a go at making them. So if you're returning here to the channel, I'm Jackie in Nantwich, and you're new here, welcome to everybody. I'm really pleased if you're here, and I hope that you're finding it helpful and useful and interesting. I'm hoping to post every week. I'm pretty new to YouTube. I'm finding my way around it a little bit, so I thought this week I'd just make the pizza, and because it's something I usually make most weeks. I'm going to leave it there for now. Like I said, if you could subscribe, I'd be really grateful for that, or if you could give me a thumbs up and a like, I would really appreciate that. If you've got any comments, if you would like to say what sort of pizza you like and what toppings you like, and how you do yours, and or if you've given it a try, and let me know what you think, I'd really be interested, and I will reply to all the comments that I have. I really do appreciate it. So Whatever you're up to today, you have a wonderful day, and I shall be in touch with you very soon. Take care. Bye for now.